Want to help your child learn to save and spend their money wisely? Use the 3-jar system. Money goes into 1 jar for spending, 1 for savings, and 1 for charity. Open a children's savings account and Phoenixville Federal will kickstart it with $10. Stop by any branch today.
My name is Ryan Conroy. I'm the president of the Historical Society of the Phoenixville Area. The earliest form of immigration that came into Phoenixville was, of course, the European settlers that came here. Most of them were either Quakers or Mennonites. The highest peak of immigration into Phoenixville would have been in the late 1800s. That's when most of the Eastern Europeans were coming into Phoenixville and mostly, of course, to work in the Phoenix Iron Company. This here is a worker's badge from the Phoenix Iron Company. This belonged to a man by the name of Francis Griswax, who was a family that was from Poland. And this is a very typical worker's badge from the era of like 1920 to 1940. They employed between 2,000 to 3,000 people at certain points, especially in the late 1800s and early 1900s. So it was most of these immigrants were coming here looking for jobs. So the Phoenix Iron Company or the Phoenix Steel later on were recruiting immigrants and bringing people here and recruiting at the docks in Philadelphia. Over here is a great photograph of a iron worker from 1900. This is a great example of what an immigrant would have looked like in Phoenixville at that time period. When the Irish came to Phoenixville, they were the first, I'd say, true, what you would refer to as an immigrant that came into Phoenixville in the 18-teens into the 1820s, and they formed a small community on the river along the Schuylkill River on the north side of Phoenixville, and they actually called it Scape Level, which is actually spelled S-C-E-I-L-P, which is an Irish word meaning water coming over river's edge or rock's edge. And that small little community was the first little ethnic immigrant community in Phoenixville. So once that started, it expanded into the 1840s when most of the Irish were coming over here. So the entire north side of Phoenixville going into the 1880s was primarily 100% Irish. This is an invitation card from 1858 for a ball at St. Mary's Roman Catholic Church on the north side of Phoenixville. And they were having a performance by the St. Mary's Brass Band, which consisted of all Irish immigrants. At that time, St. Mary's Church was built by the Irish in 1840. And then later on, when the Eastern Europeans came here, they also formed their own communities. Most of the Polish and the Ukrainians were living on the north side of Phoenixville as well, which is, you can always find those communities when you find the church. To find the church and the club, that's where they were living. And then on the south side of Phoenixville, you had the Slovaks, you had the Hungarians. This here is a pretty neat piece that we have. We have the complete set, but this is the original minute books from the Hungarian American Social Club. This is from their very first meeting, and we have all their minute books all the way until they closed their doors. And of course now, today, currently, you can see the exact same trend with the Latino population in Phoenixville, where you find the stores and when you find the churches, that's where they all are living.